The Sims 4 base game is free to play, link in the description below. Are you new to The Sims 4? Are you confused about what all these buttons do? Or are you just here for the cheats? Get ready because this is The Sims 4 Guide to Build Mode. Please feel free to watch this video at 2 times the speed, skip through chapters, or find the cheats in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. Now, on to the video. When you first start playing the game, you're most likely going to go to Willow Creek, and you're most likely going to go to this neighborhood in the bottom right corner. When clicking on a lot not occupied by Sims, you'll get the options Build, Visit, or Create a new household to move in. Clicking on Build, it will open up the lot how you would expect it to, and you will have infinite amount of funds. If you go back to Manage Worlds and instead choose to visit the lot, you'll get a pop-up allowing you to choose which sim in the world you want to travel with. And now from live mode, you can go straight into build mode by clicking this button in the top right. Doing this can have multiple benefits. When visiting an unoccupied lot, you will still have an infinite amount of funds, but you now have the option to build in whatever live weather is happening at any time of day, since build mode only comes with 4 preset times of day. And if you have the seasons pack, you can build in any kind of season that will apply seasonal effects to the lot you're building on, and even apply seasonal effects to the objects that you put down on the lot. This can also be seen when saving a lot in the gallery picture. Now things are a little different when the sim already lives on the lot or you move a sim onto the lot. First off, you will have a limited amount of funds, and now when you click on the lot, you will get options, build, visit, and play. If you decide to go straight into build mode from this menu, you won't be able to use money cheats, and if you don't have any funds in your household, you won't be able to build. So I always recommend going into play first and then switching to build mode. Being able to switch between build mode and live mode also gives you the option to change light colors while you're building. All you have to do is click on a light, set color and intensity, and you'll get the option between all lights, this light, or this room. There's many color options to choose from, and you can make them dimmer or brighter. Also, it should be noted that candles work off a separate system. When you're setting all lights, candles will also follow the all lights rule, but afterwards you can set candles separately from the rest of the regular electric lights. Now on to different lot types. In the top left corner, you can open the venue info option, choose to rename the lot, and then under lot info panel, you can set the lot type to different kinds of venues. When you choose a venue, you will also have an option on the right side to pick from the gallery pre-made venue types. Different venues will have different requirements. For instance, a bar will require you to have these items. Continuing on, we're going to move to the trait panel. Here you can pick different traits that you want your lot to have that could help you gain skills faster, lower bills, have special events happen, or change what NPC sims are more likely to come to the lot or not come to the lot. Under lot challenges, there are different options, most of which are coming from expansion packs, that will make the game a little bit more difficult for you to keep your sims happy. Moving on to the rest of the buttons. Clicking H on your keyboard will bring up the select tool. Hitting E on the keyboard will bring up the eyedropper where you can copy an object that's already on the lot. Hitting R on your keyboard will bring up the design tool where you can change an object's color just by clicking on it. You can also do this in the build by menu by clicking the bar on the left side of the object and scrolling through those options, or when you pick up an object you can cycle through the color options by hitting the plus sign on the keypad, but you have to have a keypad for this to work. The next button is a sledgehammer, which you can access by hitting K on your keyboard. You can sell objects by clicking on them with a sledgehammer or click and drag to sell multiple objects. When deleting walls, furniture will stay, and when deleting floors, objects will go to inventory. To undo an action, hold Ctrl and Z at the same time, and to redo an action, hold Ctrl and Y. If you want to save a lot or room to your library or the gallery, go to this button up here and click through the drop-down menu to save lot. Bargain Bin is a weird lot because it takes the picture from the side angle. It's the only lot that I'm aware of that does this. Here you can change the name of the lot, select how many bedrooms and bathrooms the build has, and write a description for the lot where you can include hashtags to make it easier to find on the gallery. You have the option to save it to your personal library or share it onto the gallery for other people to find and download. Not only can you save lots, but you can save individual rooms, and to do this you have to have a room selected before you click the drop-down menu. Under this tab you can change the name of the room like you could with lots, but you can also change the angle of the photo. You can also select what type of room it is from a drop-down menu. The next button is another drop-down option where you can move house by clicking U on your keyboard or move lot by hitting Y. After going to move house, you can then click on a house and it will give you the option to rotate or move. Overlapping any objects will cause them to be sold. If there are more than one house on your lot, you can independently move them from each other. When hitting Move Lot, you get the same options to rotate or move, but all houses, terrain paint, and anything placed in the yard will move as well. If you move objects off the lot, they will be deleted. That includes entire sections of houses and roof pieces. The next button is Bulldoze. This will bring up a drop-down menu that you could either choose to bulldoze lot or bulldoze terrain. If you choose bulldoze lot, you will get a pop-up to warn you that these actions cannot be undone. It will delete any houses or any objects on the lot. Bulldoze terrain will clear any terrain paint and flatten the lot. Hitting L on your keyboard will cycle through 4 different times of day. This can be especially helpful at night to see how lighting shows up. Moving on to the buttons on the right side of the screen, hitting F1 will bring you to live mode and F2 to build mode. Hitting F4 will open the gallery. This is where you can look through other people's builds in Sims and download them to your own game. On the left hand side, you have options to narrow your search, including showing only content from packs you own. Downloading builds that contain items from other packs will be replaced with base game items. Now at the top, if you click at your profile and go to View Catalog, you will see all the items that you have previously uploaded to the gallery. Going to My Library will show you anything that you have privately saved onto your computer. The next button is an advertisement for packs you may like, and you can access it by hitting F6. The next 2 buttons change what floor you are looking at, and you can toggle between them by hitting Page Up and Page Down. The button after that toggles between wall views. There's Walls Down, Cutaway Walls, and Walls Up. You can toggle between them by hitting Home and End. The next button is the Help Center, where you can get an in-game lesson on how to use build mode. Skipping camera options for now, the last 2 buttons are notifications for things that are happening in-game, and the last button is the menu. I suggest looking through game options, and if you need any help, go to lessons. Camera controls could be a little confusing because there's so many buttons that do the exact same thing. For instance, you could drag to zoom, hold the plus and minus button to zoom out and in really far, or click them individually to zoom a little bit at a time. Keyboard shortcuts include plus and minus buttons, Z and X, or using the scroll wheel on your mouse. I suggest this because it is the smoothest. To move the camera, you can use the keyboard buttons WASD or use the arrow keys. You can also move by using the mouse. Controls vary depending on what mode you're in, but the default mode is Sims 4 camera, and you can hold right click to move around, or you can hold left click and actually drag the ground underneath you. There's also edge scrolling, which can be turned off in the options menu. To rotate the camera, you can go under camera options and click these buttons, or you can use the less than and greater than signs on your keyboard. You can also hold Control and use the WSAD keys or the arrow keys. Using your mouse in the default Sims 4 camera, you can hold your middle mouse button and move side to side, but these controls are different when you switch into the Sims 3 camera. First notable difference is you can't drag the ground underneath you anymore, and the right mouse button rotates the camera while the middle mouse button moves the camera. These 2 controls are inverted when you're in the Sims 4 camera. Most Simmers prefer the Sims 3 camera for one reason and one reason only, and that is because if you hold Control, you can now use the WASD keys and the arrow keys to move the camera vertically. But of course, the easiest way to control this is using your right mouse button. The Sims 3 camera allows you to get better views of what's happening in game or zoom in on your character and see their facial expressions. To get a top-down view of your build and look over floor layouts, you can hit T on your keyboard or hit the last button under camera options. Now the last camera option is Free Camera. This is newly added and quite difficult to use. I like to start with a Sims 3 camera and adjust the height to a Sims eye level before switching into the free camera mode. Using the scroll wheel, you can scroll all the way out to a fisheye lens view, and then use the WSAD keys or arrow keys to move around. If you hold Control and then use these keys, you can rotate the camera, but I recommend using the left click button to have the camera follow your mouse. This camera is really good for first person shots, and it has a really good zoom option if you're trying to look at small details on different items. This camera mode can be glitchy, and when you hit the WSAD keys, you'll go too fast, or sometimes the ceiling won't show up. Also, if your camera angle was inside an object when accessing the free mode camera, when you look around, that object will be invisible. And you can't interact with any objects in this mode, it's simply for viewing. Those are all the build mode basics. The next video will go over the build mode menu and keyboard shortcuts as well as cheats and limitations. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.